Night was silent, and the streets were almost empty. Rahul walked slowly, his hands in his pockets, his mind full of tired thoughts. It was one of those days where everything felt heavy: work, life, and the long search for someone who truly understood him. He had been in relationships before, but every time he felt the same pain. People came close to him, only for looks, money, or attention. Not for love, not for the heart. He took a deep breath and continued walking. The streetlights were dim, and the cold wind touched his face. He could hear the distant sound of a dog barking and cars passing on the main road. Nothing felt special, until something unusual caught his eye. At the bus stop ahead, he saw someone. A girl, sitting completely alone. She looked different from others. She had no makeup, no shiny lipstick, no heavy eyeliner. Her clothes were simple. Just a plain dress. Nothing fancy, nothing modern. Her hair was tied in a loose ponytail. She carried a small bag, old but neat. Her head was slightly down, and her feet were shaking like she was cold or scared. Rahul slowed down. Something about her silence felt strange. A lonely girl, late at night, sitting there like the world had forgotten her. Who is she? Rahul wondered. As he walked closer, he noticed the sadness on her face. She wasn't crying, but her eyes looked like they were holding 1,000 hidden tears. She looked like someone who had seen pain, real pain. Rahul felt an unknown pull toward her. He wasn't a person who talked to strangers, but there was something about this girl that touched his heart in a way he didn't understand. Before he could think more, a car suddenly slowed down near the bus stop. The engine sound cut the silence. Rahul stopped walking. The girl lifted her head and her body stiffened. The car stayed there for a moment, its headlights flashing on her face. Rahul felt something suspicious. His heartbeat increased a little, but then, without any reason, the car sped away into the darkness. The girl exhaled as if she was holding her breath the whole time. Rahul felt even more curious now. Why was she frightened? Why was she alone? Why did she look like she was waiting for something that would never come? He took a small step forward, but stopped again. A voice inside him said, "Don't disturb her." Another voice said, "She needs help." He stood there quietly, watching her from a distance. Minutes passed. The bus stop remained empty, except for her. No bus came. No people appeared. She didn't check her phone, didn't look around, didn't fix her hair, nothing. She just sat there with a peaceful but broken expression. Rahul finally walked past her. He didn't say anything, and she didn't even look at him. But something in that moment stayed inside him. It felt like he had seen a story, an untold story hidden in her eyes. That night, when Rahul reached home, he couldn't stop thinking about her. Her silence, her sadness, her simplicity. He felt like he had seen someone who didn't belong to this noisy world. Someone rare. Someone real. The next morning, Rahul tried to focus on his work. But the image of the mysterious girl kept coming into his mind. Who was she? Why was she there late at night? Why did she look like she was running from something? He didn't know her name. He didn't know her past. But he knew one thing. He wanted to see her again. And the universe had the same plan. Because that evening, Rahul saw her again, at the same bus stop, in the same simple dress, with the same quiet sadness. And this time, he did not walk away. The evening air was warm. The sky held a soft orange glow as the sun slowly disappeared behind the buildings. Rahul walked with fast steps, his heart beating a little quicker than usual. He wasn't sure why he felt this way, but something inside him wanted to return to the same bus stop. Maybe it was curiosity, or maybe it was something deeper that he didn't want to name yet. When he reached the bus stop, he stopped walking. She was there, the same girl, the same simple dress, the same calm but lonely face. She sat quietly, holding the same small bag. This time her hair was open, falling softly on her shoulders. She looked even more simple than yesterday, yet there was something gentle about her presence, like she didn't need anything extra to look human and real. Rahul took a slow breath. He didn't want to scare her. He didn't want to seem strange, but he also didn't want to ignore her again, so he walked toward the bench and sat a little distance away. Not too close. Not too far. For a few seconds, neither of them spoke. The silence wasn't awkward, it felt peaceful, like two strangers sharing the same quiet air. Finally, Rahul broke the silence. "Hi," said softly. The girl didn't look at him immediately. It felt like she wasn't used to talking to people. After a moment, she slowly turned her head and gave a small, shy nod. Rahul smiled politely. "I saw you here yesterday," he said, trying to sound friendly and safe. She looked down at her hands and replied in a low voice, "Yes. I come here sometimes." Her voice was soft, almost like she was scared her words would break if she spoke louder. Rahul nodded. "I'm Rahul," he said. She paused again. Then, with a gentle voice, she said, "My name is Asha." The name suited her. It sounded simple. "And hopeful?" Rahul asked. "Are you waiting for someone?" Asha shook her head. "No. Just sitting." Her answer confused Rahul, who sits alone every evening at a bus stop without waiting for a bus or a person. Something was unusual, but Rahul didn't push. He didn't want to hurt her or make her uncomfortable. A bus arrived, stopping in front of them. People rushed in and out. Rahul noticed that Asha didn't even lift her head to look at the bus. She didn't move. She didn't react. She wasn't here for the bus. She was here for something else. Something unspoken. When the bus left, the silence returned. Rahul looked at her again. She wasn't wearing anything fancy. No branded shoes. No expensive watch. No makeup. Yet something about her looked more real than any person Rahul had met. Most girls he knew took hours to dress up before meeting someone. But Asha, she didn't try to impress anyone. Not even herself. "Do you live nearby?" Rahul asked gently. Asha hesitated. "Not very near. Not very far," she said in a confusing way. It felt like she didn't want to talk about her home. Rahul changed the topic. "Long day?" he asked. She gave a tiny smile, the first smile he saw on her face. "Every day is long," she replied. Her words were simple, but they carried weight like her days were heavy, not just long. A dog walked near the bench, sniffing around. Asha bent slightly and touched the dog's head with care, like she understood the pain of lonely creatures. Rahul watched her with quiet surprise. Even in her sadness, she knew how to share kindness. "You like dogs?" Rahul asked. Asha nodded softly. "Animals don't judge," she whispered. That one line hit Rahul deeply. Maybe she had been judged before. Maybe she had been hurt. Maybe she chose silence because silence never attacked her. As the evening turned darker, Asha stood up slowly. "I should go," she said. Rahul felt something inside him panic for a moment. He didn't want the conversation to end so soon, but he didn't want to force her either. "Will you come tomorrow?" he asked. Asha looked at him with surprise in her eyes. Then she nodded once, and without saying another word, she walked away into the dim light. Rahul watched her until she disappeared. He didn't know her story. He didn't know her past. But he knew one thing clearly. He wanted to understand her, and he wanted to see her again tomorrow. The next evening arrived quickly, and Rahul felt strangely excited. The whole day he kept checking the time, waiting for evening to come. He didn't understand why he felt this way about Asha. She was a stranger, yet his heart felt light when he thought about her. Maybe it was because she was honest, simple, real, something he had never found before. When he reached the bus stop, Asha was already there. She sat in the same quiet way. But today something was different. She looked tired more than usual, like she hadn't slept properly. Her eyes were red, not from makeup but from worry. Rahul sat next to her, not too close. "You're early," he said. Asha looked up and gave a small nod. "I didn't want to stay home today." Her words felt heavy. Rahul didn't ask why. He could sense there was something she didn't want to talk about. They sat silently for some time. The traffic lights changed colors. Cars passed. People walked by without noticing them. But Rahul was noticing every small thing about Usha, the way she played with her fingers when nervous, the way she looked at the ground when thinking, the way her eyes seemed to search for peace. "Are you okay?" Rahul finally asked. Asha took a deep breath. "I don't know," she whispered. Rahul wanted to help her, but he didn't know how. He didn't know her past. He didn't know her problems. All he knew was that she looked like someone who carried too much pain for her small shoulders. "I'm here," he said softly. "If you want to talk." Asha looked surprised. Maybe no one had said those words to her in a long time, but she shook her head gently. "Not today." Rahul respected that. A boy selling flowers passed by. He tried to sell a rose to Asha, but Asha quickly shook her head. The boy left. Rahul noticed something. The moment the boy showed the rose, Asha's face changed. Not in a happy way, but in a hurt way, like the flower reminded her of something she wanted to forget. "Do you not like flowers?" Rahul asked. Asha looked away. "I used to, but not anymore," she said. Her voice broke slightly. Rahul didn't push further. A few minutes later, a loud group of college students walked by. They laughed loudly, wore stylish clothes, and looked carefree. Asha's eyes followed them for a second. Then she looked down immediately as if she didn't belong to that world. As if she never did. Rahul noticed everything. She wasn't scared of the world. She was scared of not fitting in. "Do you study?" he asked gently. Asha shook her head. "No, I left college." "Why?" Rahul asked softly. Asha didn't reply. She just kept staring at the road, her eyes turning shiny like tears were close. Rahul regretted asking. "I'm sorry," he said. Asha whispered, "It's okay." But her voice said it. "What?" The wind grew colder. Asha wrapped her hands around her arms as if protecting herself from memories more than the weather. Then suddenly, she stood up. "I should go," she said quickly. Rahul got worried. "Something happened? Are you feeling unwell?" Asha shook her head fast, almost like she was trying to hide panic. "No, I have to go." She walked away quickly, faster than usual. Rahul watched her leave with a strange fear inside him. She wasn't walking away like normal. She was running from something invisible, something that hurt her. He wanted to stop her, to ask what was wrong, but he couldn't because Asha wasn't ready to open her heart. That night, Rahul couldn't sleep. Her sad eyes kept coming into his mind. What was she hiding? Why did she look so scared today? Why did she leave college? What happened to her? The next day, Rahul went to the bus stop early. He waited and waited. But Asha didn't come. He returned the next day. Still, she didn't come. For the first time since he met her, she disappeared. Rahul's heart filled with worry. Where was she? Was she safe? Or did something from her past return to hurt her again? He didn't know the truth, but he knew this. He wasn't going to give up on her. Not now. Not ever. 2 days felt like 2 years for Rahul. Every evening he returned to the same bus stop, hoping to see Asha sitting there, Agentra again quiet, calm, and lost in her own world. But the bench remained empty. No simple dress. No soft eyes. No quiet smile, just emptiness. Rahul tried to convince himself that maybe she was busy. Maybe she went somewhere. Maybe she was all right. But his heart didn't believe it. Something felt wrong. Something felt missing. On the third evening, Rahul reached the bus stop earlier than usual. This time he didn't sit. He stood and looked around, waiting with restless eyes. Every passing minute felt heavier. And then, finally, he saw her. Asha walked slowly toward the bus stop. Her head was down, her steps weak. She looked thinner, paler, and tired in a way that comes from crying too long or carrying pain too heavy. Rahul felt relief wash over him, but he also felt fear for her. Asha. He called softly. Asha stopped for a second. She lifted her head and looked at him. Her eyes were red, not from lack of sleep, but from tears. She forced a small smile, but that smile broke immediately. Rahul stepped closer. Where were you? I was worried. Asha sat on the bench without answering. She held her small bag tightly, as if it was the only thing she had in the world. After a long silence, she finally spoke. I didn't want to come, but I didn't want to disappear either. Rahul sat beside her. What happened? Asha looked at her hands. You ask as if you know me. I don't know your past, Rahul said gently, but I want to understand you. She looked at him for a moment like she was checking if he was lying, but Rahul's face held only concern. Asha took a slow breath. My life is simple, but not easy, she said quietly. Rahul nodded, listening carefully. I lived with my aunt and uncle after my parents died, she continued. Her voice was steady, but her eyes were drowning. They always told me I was useless. Not pretty. Not smart. Not enough. Rahul felt anger in his chest, but he stayed silent. I tried hard in everything, Asha said, but it was never good. They compared me to other girls. Girls with makeup. Girls with fancy clothes. Girls who were perfect. She laughed for a second, but it was a sad laugh. I wasn't perfect. Rahul's heart tightened. She wasn't perfect by society's fake rules, but she was real. I joined college, she said softly. I hoped life would change, but people there were the same. They judged my clothes, my face, my silence, my simple life. She looked at Rahul with tired eyes. Do you know how it feels when people laugh at you for being simple? Rahul didn't answer. He knew his answer didn't matter. Her pain was speaking now. I left college, she continued. Not because I was weak, but because I was breaking. Every day felt like a fight I couldn't win. Her voice cracked. I used to love flowers, she said, until someone told me that simple girls don't deserve beautiful things. Rahul closed his eyes in pain at her words. That's why I sit here, Asha whispered. The bus stop is quiet. No one asks questions. No one judges me. No one tells me what I'm not. But you disappeared for 2 days, Rahul said softly. Asha looked down. My uncle found out I was coming here every evening. He said I was wasting time. He yelled. He threw my things. Told me I was a burden. Tears finally fell from her eyes. I just needed time to breathe, she said. I had no place where I felt safe. Except here. Rahul gently placed his hand near hers, not touching, just offering comfort. You're safe with me, he whispered. Asha looked at him. For the first time, her eyes didn't hold fear, they held trust. A small, fragile trust, but real. I don't know why I told you this, she said. Because you're tired of carrying the pain alone, Rahul replied. Asha wiped her tears. Maybe, but I don't want pity. You don't get pity, Rahul said. You get respect. Asha looked away shyly, a soft warmth touching her face. The night grew darker, but Asha's heart felt lighter. For the first time in a long time, she wasn't alone. Someone saw her, not her clothes, not her looks, but her story. And that changed everything. The next day, Rahul reached the bus stop earlier than usual. He didn't want to miss Yushanat today, not after she had trusted him with her truth. He still couldn't forget her words from yesterday. Every line of pain she shared was echoing inside him. He wanted to see her smile again. A real smile. A smile that came from comfort, not from hiding sadness. Asha arrived a few minutes later. Today she looked a little better. Not happier, but calmer. Her eyes still carried tiredness, but there was a tiny softness in her expression. The kind of softness that comes when someone finally feels safe. Rahul smiled gently. You came. Asha gave a small nod. I said I would. She sat down on the bench slowly. Rahul sat beside her, keeping the same respectful distance. Today, for the first time, Asha didn't look away from him. She looked at him as if she wanted to understand him too. You're quiet today, Rahul said lightly. Asha gave a tiny smile. Quiet is normal for me. But today it feels different, Rahul said. Asha looked at the sky, where the sunset was turning orange and pink. Today I'm not sad, just thinking about what? Rahul asked. Asha hesitated, but then answered honestly. about how good it felt to talk yesterday. I didn't expect myself to say so much, Rahul said. Sometimes the heart chooses someone before the mind does. Asha looked at him with surprise. No boy had ever spoken to her like that, calm, simple, honest. Not dramatic, not flirty. Just real words from a real heart. They sat silently again, but this silence was not heavy. It was peaceful, like two people sitting under the same umbrella during rain. After a few minutes, Rahul stood. Come, he said. Asha blinked. Where? Just a walk. I know a place nearby. Asha hesitated for a moment, but Rahul's gentle eyes gave her confidence. She stood up. They walked together on the quiet street. The wind was cool, and the shops were closing slowly. They passed a small tea stall. The smell of fresh chai filled the air. You like tea? Rahul asked. Asha nodded softly. Rahul ordered 2 cups. They stood near the stall, sipping chai in silence. The warm tea felt comforting. Asha closed her eyes for a second, enjoying the moment. Good? Rahul asked. Asha smiled a real small, beautiful smile. Yes. Very. For the first time, Rahul saw a warmth in her face he had never seen before. No makeup? No stylish clothes? Just a simple girl with a smile that felt more precious than all the fancy things in the world. After tea, they continued walking. A street dog followed them. Asha bent down and touched its head. The dog wagged its tail happily. You're good with animals, Rahul said. Asha replied. They don't ask who you are. They just feel your heart. Rahul looked at her gently. I want to understand your heart too. Asha froze for a moment. Her cheeks turned slightly pink, not from shyness, but from shock. No one had ever said something like that to her. She changed the topic quickly. Why are you being kind to me? Rahul smiled softly. Because kindness is the only thing this world never gives enough. Asha looked away, hiding the emotion in her eyes. They returned to the bus stop and sat again. Today, Asha sat a little closer, just an inch. But that inch felt like a mile for Rahul. It meant trust. It meant comfort. It meant she wasn't scared of him, Rahul. She said quietly. Yes. I don't know what this friendship means. I don't know how long I can meet you. My life is not stable. Rahul looked at her gently. You don't need to know everything right now. We can take one day at a time. Asha breathed slowly, letting his words settle in her heart. One day at a time. She repeated softly, like she was trying to believe it. A gentle silence wrapped them again. The streetlights turned on. The sky grew dark. The world around them moved on. But Rahul and Asha sat there like 2 quiet souls, learning how to heal together. Asha finally whispered, Thank you. For staying. Rahul replied softly, I'm not going anywhere. And for the first time, Asha believed someone when they said that. The next few days passed gently, like soft waves touching the shore. Every evening, Rahul and Asha met at the same bus stop. Their conversations were simple, but the feelings behind them were deep. Sometimes they talked about life, sometimes about small things like the weather, street dogs, or childhood memories. And some days they didn't talk at all. They just sat beside each other in quiet peace. For Asha, these meetings were like fresh air. After years of feeling unwanted, she finally felt seen. Not judged. Not compared. Just accepted for Rahul. These evenings felt like home. He had met many people in his life, but no one like Asha. She was not loud, not flashy, not trying to impress anyone. She was exactly who she was, and that truth touched him more than anything. One evening, the sky turned dark earlier than usual. Clouds gathered above them, thick and heavy. The wind became strong, and Rahul looked up. It might rain, he said. Asha hugged her small bag closer. I like rain, she whispered. Rahul smiled. Then today is special. It started slowly, a few drops falling on the road. Then the rain grew stronger. People started running for shelter. But Asha stayed still, letting the drops touch her face. Her eyes closed gently. She didn't care about her simple dress getting wet. She didn't care how she looked. She just stood there in the rain, free in her own world. Rahul watched her with soft eyes. She wasn't trying to be beautiful, yet she looked beautiful. She wasn't trying to impress, yet she impressed him more than anyone ever had. Asha opened her eyes and saw Rahul watching. "What?" she asked shyly. "Nothing," Rahul said. "Just, you look happy." Asha smiled. "Rain makes me feel alive." The rain became heavier. Rahul gently held her arm. "Come under the shelter," he said. They walked to a small tin shade near the bus stop. The rain hit the roof loudly, but inside it felt warm and quiet. Asha stood close, trying to dry her hair. "You're shivering," Rahul said. "I'm fine," Asha replied. But her hands were cold. Rahul took off his jacket and placed it around her shoulders. She looked at him with surprise. "You'll get cold," she said. "I'll be fine," Rahul replied softly. Asha looked down, hiding her smile. No one had done something like that for her before. For a long moment, they just stood there watching the rain. The world outside looked blurry, but between them everything felt clear. "Asha," Rahul said gently. She looked up. "There's something I want to tell you." Usha's heart started beating faster. Not from fear, but from something warm she didn't want to name. Rahul continued. "I don't know what tomorrow will bring. I don't know where life will take you or me. But I know one thing. When I sit with you, I feel peace. Real peace." Asha blinked slowly, her eyes soft. "You don't try to impress me," he said. "You don't hide behind makeup or masks. You don't pretend. You are just... and that is enough." Asha looked down, her cheeks turning pink. "I'm not special," she whispered. "You are," Rahul said firmly. "More than you know." Asha's eyes filled with tears, not of sadness, but of disbelief. No one had ever valued her simplicity. No one had ever said her real self was enough. The wind blew softly, pushing her hair across her face. Rahul gently lifted his hand and moved the strand away. Asha didn't step back. "Rahul," she said quietly. "Why are you saying all this?" "Because," Rahul said, taking a slow breath, "I think I found something in you. Something I've been searching for my whole life." Asha's lips trembled. "And what is that?" Rahul smiled softly. "A real heart." Tears finally rolled down her cheeks. She didn't hide them. Without thinking, she took a small step closer and held Rahul's hand. Her touch was soft, unsure, but honest. "I don't know what love is," Asha whispered, "but I know I feel safe with you." Rahul tightened his fingers around hers. "That's enough," he said. Outside, the rain kept falling, but inside the small shelter, warmth grew between them, quiet, gentle, real. Asha rested her head on Rahul's shoulder. For the first time in years, she felt like she belonged somewhere. And Rahul knew, without any doubt, she had no makeup. She had no fancy dress. But she had the heart he'd been searching for.